The unsolved murder of Aaron Taylor, burned alive on Christmas night. Christmas night, 2007. While families in Phoenix gathered around dinner tables, a homeless man slept quietly on a bench near the old Paradise Valley Mall. Minutes later, that bench was in flames. His name was Aaron Taylor, and to this day, no one has ever been charged for what happened. This is Crime Series, and tonight we revisit the haunting unsolved case of Aaron Taylor, the man who was set on fire on Christmas Day. Aaron wasn't just a homeless man. He was a person, someone who laughed, smiled, and once had a life before the streets. In his mid-30s, Aaron had fallen on hard times. He was a recovering addict, doing his best to survive each day near a Subway and a Circle K off East Cactus Road. Employees in the area described him as quiet, polite, and harmless. He'd help sweep the courtyard, share snacks with the staff, and never asked for much, just a little kindness, maybe a conversation. That small corner of the mall, a bench under the flickering lights, became his home. It wasn't luxury, but it was his space, his peace. Then, in late 2007, that peace was shattered. A group of young men, between 17 and 21 years old, started targeting Aaron. They thought it was funny to mess with the homeless guy. They duct-taped him to benches. They threw him into a fountain. They poured beer and soda on him, laughing while filming on their phones. Some nights, Aaron was left soaked and humiliated. Security guards sometimes broke it up, but no one filed reports. And Aaron never fought back. He didn't scream. He didn't run. He simply endured it, the way many vulnerable people do when the world stops seeing them. On Christmas Day, the group was seen hanging out again near the same courtyard. It was cold that evening, quiet except for the hum of traffic. Aaron had lain down on the bench with a blanket wrapped around him. Then at 6:50 p.m., a 911 call came in. A man was on fire near the Subway. Witnesses reported seeing a fireball erupt from the bench. Aaron was engulfed in flames, screaming and trying to run. A few bystanders and a Circle K worker tried to help, using jackets, water, anything they could find. But it was too late. The fire burned with such intensity that it scorched the surrounding pavement. Firefighters rushed in, extinguished the flames, and found Aaron barely alive. He was rushed to the Maricopa Medical Center burn unit, but within hours, he succumbed to his injuries. At the scene, detectives noticed half-empty liquor bottles scattered nearby. One was a bottle of 10 High whiskey. There was also a bag of Cheetos and a charred blanket. But there were no usable fingerprints, no accelerant containers, and no surveillance cameras nearby. The fire, combined with the firefighters' water hoses, had wiped away almost all forensic evidence. It was as if the scene had been scrubbed clean, not intentionally, but tragically in the act of trying to save him. Investigators began canvassing the nearby apartments, looking for anyone who had seen something. That's when the same names kept coming up, the group of young men who had been bullying Aaron for weeks. Several witnesses recalled seeing those young men hanging around that night, laughing, drinking, taunting Aaron again. But no one had seen the exact moment the fire started. Detectives questioned them, but within days their parents had hired lawyers. Those attorneys told them not to speak to police. Without cooperation, and with almost no physical evidence, the investigation hit a wall. There were rumors that someone bragged about lighting up the homeless guy at a party, that another felt guilty and tried to confess to a friend. But those stories were second-hand, nothing concrete enough to stand up in court. The detectives believed they knew who did it, but belief isn't proof, and soon the case went cold. Aaron's murder shook the Phoenix community. Headlines read, "Homeless man burned alive on Christmas." The Phoenix New-Times described it as torture. For a few weeks, the city was outraged. People left flowers near the bench. Some locals started talking about better protection for the homeless. But like many stories involving people without power or family, the outrage faded. Months passed, then years. Aaron's name slipped quietly out of the public's memory. The bench was cleaned, the area renovated, and life moved on. It's been almost 20 years since Aaron Taylor was set on fire. He never got justice. Somewhere, those responsible may still live in that same city, grown up now, maybe with families of their own, carrying the weight of a terrible secret. Aaron's story forces us to ask, what does it say about us when cruelty goes unpunished, simply because the victim was poor, invisible, or forgotten? He wasn't just a homeless man. He was someone's son, someone who deserved dignity, warmth, and safety, not flames on a cold Christmas night. And if this story moved you, consider sharing it. The more people who hear Aaron's name, the closer we get to justice, or at least remembrance. This is Crime Series, and tonight we revisit the haunting unsolved case of Aaron Taylor, the man who was set on fire on Christmas Day. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, stay aware, and never forget the forgotten.